We wondered, what would identity mean in a completely digital world?
And what would reality mean when a world we can build feels as real as our own?
Today we're looking at TikToks that will blow your mind about the metaverse.
Where am I? Where are you, Mark? Where are we?
You're in Austin, right?
No, I mean this place. We're shrouded by darkness with ultra realistic face, and it just feels like we're in the same room. This is really the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Welcome back. Thank you to all the channel members for support. There's been a lot of people in my comments that are like, dude, the simulation isn't real. There's no simulation. This is not a simulation. And this video might be able to change your mind. Because when you look at the things that they're about to do, and you just imagine what it could be 20 years from now, you'd be like, what would make real life not a simulation? As y'all know, we're on our road to 100K. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to smash that subscribe button. If you see the video right now, like it. Let's go.
This is perhaps one of the craziest interviews I've ever seen regarding the metaverse. Do me a favor and turn your phone sideways. The interview is in regards to the new Matrix game that is being built on the Unreal Engine 5.
Easily as we change clothes.
We wondered, what would identity mean in a completely digital world?
And what would reality mean when a world we can build feels as real as our own?
And this game shows the advancements in technology and how realistic the virtual reality is going to become. And here's Keanu Reeves' thoughts on this metaverse that is coming within the near future.
And so the director's like, well, why don't you just tell them what it's about? So I started to say, well, there's this guy who's in a kind of virtual world, and he finds out that there's a real world, and he's really questioning what's real and not real, and he really wants to know what's real. And the young girl was like, why? And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, who cares if it's real? And I was like, wait, you don't care if it's real? And she was like, no.
Isn't that wild?
It's awesome.
And he goes on explaining how awesome the concept of the metaverse actually is, and how crazy it is to see creation and economics actually involved within these online virtual worlds.
Creation, it's economic creation, right? Cryptocurrency.
Are either of you into cryptocurrency personally?
A friend of mine bought some for me a while back, so.
But you haven't done anything with it?
I haven't had to.
Now, Keanu isn't too much into crypto, and he even cracks this joke about NFTs.
And so, like, when you think about the concept of digital scarcity and things that are, they can't be copied,
That are easily reproduced.
well, but they're not the same.
And despite cracking the joke, he's not actually against anything in the NFTs or cryptocurrency space. He just knows it's another way for companies like Facebook to actually just profit and make more money.
We're getting
as
there.
mentioned
It's
right
happening.
here.
Can we just not have Metaverse be like invented by Facebook? And
You're not a fan?
No, but just the concept of Metaverse is like way older than
It is old. Snow Crash, yeah.
It's like a way older, and so for that moment to get to, I'm just like, come on, man.
Because clearly Keanu is not a fan of Lizard Man either. Now go ahead and turn your phone back with me. As these blockchain games and metaverse aren't as realistic with graphics just yet, we are maybe 5 to 10 years out before this virtual reality Ready Player One style games actually comes to fruition, and you're going to see people inside these VRs on a day-to-day basis. So if you want to learn how to get ahead and understand how to play these games and make money, click that follow button.
So Keanu Reeves said something. It was like he talked to a girl about the guy trying to find out what's real from what's fake, and he said that the girl was like, who cares if it's real? That had me thinking, like, let's say like today someone like Morpheus comes up to you and was like, do you want to know the truth, or do you want to stay in this life? Would a lot of you guys choose to stay, or would you choose to break free? Let me know down in the comments.
So I noticed something very weird about the Facebook Metaverse promotion video. He is not wearing a VR headset. Where's his VR headset? This is not through VR. They're planning something way more sinister, and I'm going to tell you their actual plan. There's no VR headset. This is because Zuckerberg knows the real plan. The real plan is contact lenses and holograms. You keep thinking that the metaverse is a digital world. They actually want the Earth to be the metaverse. It's going to be more of a hybrid reality where you're like a cyborg and the technology is on the contact lenses. So why did Facebook buy Oculus, the VR headset company? Because they know VR headsets are basically going to get phased out. If their plan is some Ready Player One stuff, then there are millions and billions of people who couldn't last 3 hours in a headset. You get dizzy, motion sickness. So the real plan, like about 5 years out, is going to be these contact lenses.
This man lives full-time in the metaverse, and it is quite a sight to see. This is Mikkel VR, and he's gone viral on social media for living 24/7 in the metaverse. He lays in a child's bed that has been remade into a penthouse suite, he takes showers in a kiddie pool, and he even drives a fake car to work. He claims the virtual world that he's built is better than any physical world that he could be living in, so why not just stay in it full-time? Is this sad, or is this the future? What do you think?
Something about the metaverse just makes my whole soul just uneasy, because it's like, as a human being, you know what I'm saying, we're supposed to be active, like moving and stuff, walking. If you just spend your whole day in the metaverse, that is just like crazy to me. I don't know.
Following is a conversation with Mark Zuckerberg inside the metaverse. Mark and I are hundreds of miles apart from each other in physical space, but it feels like we're in the same room because we appear to each other as photorealistic codec avatars in 3D with spatial audio. This technology is incredible, and I think it's the future of how human beings connect to each other in a deeply meaningful way on the internet. These avatars can capture many of the nuances of facial expressions that we humans use to communicate emotion to each other. Now, I just need to work on upgrading my emotion expressing capabilities of the underlying human. This is the Lex Friedman Podcast. And now, dear friends, here's Mark Zuckerberg. This is so great. Lighting change? Wow.
Yeah, we can put the light anywhere.
And it doesn't feel awkward to be really close to you.
No, it does. I actually moved you back a few feet before you got into the headset. You were like right here.
I don't know if people can see this, but this is incredible. The realism here is just incredible. Where am I? Where are you, Mark? Where are we?
You're in Austin, right?
No, I mean this place. We're shrouded by darkness with ultra realistic face, and it just feels like we're in the same room. This is really the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And sorry to be in your personal space.
I mean,
we have done jiu-jitsu before.
Yeah, no, I was commenting to the team before that even I feel like we've choked each other from further distances than it feels like we are right now.
I mean, this is just really incredible. I don't know how to describe it with words. It really feels like we're in the same room.
Yeah.
It feels like the future. This is truly, truly incredible. I just wanted to take it in. I'm still getting used to it. It's like, it's you. It's really you. But you're not here with me, right? You're there wearing a headset, and I'm wearing a headset. It's really, really incredible. So what, can you describe what it takes currently for us to appear so photorealistic to each other?
Yeah. So, I mean, for background, we both did these scans for this research project that we have at Meta called Codec Avatars. And the idea is that instead of our avatars being cartoony, and instead of actually transmitting a video, what it does is we've sort of scanned ourselves and a lot of different expressions, and we've built a computer model of sort of each of our faces and bodies and the different expressions that we make, and collapse that into a codec that then, when you have the headset on your head, it sees your face, it sees your expression, and it can basically send an encoded version of what you're supposed to look like over the wire. So in addition to being photorealistic, it's also actually much more bandwidth efficient than transmitting a full video, or especially a 3D immersive video of a whole scene like this.
And it captures everything, like the flaws. Like, to me, the subtleties of the human face, like even the flaws. That's all.
Yo, when Mark Zuckerberg's face first popped up, I was just so terrified. I was like, yo, what am I looking at?
The government has invaded the metaverse. Barbados is the first nation to have a government establishment in the metaverse. So this is from the super world metaverse. And this guy, who's an ambassador for Barbados, established the first embassy of any sovereign nation inside the metaverse on Superworld. It was very amazing to see this because just a few months ago, I actually purchased 4 pieces of land right here in that metaverse of Superworld. If you would like to learn how I did this, click the follow button and I will be making a video.
Police are investigating the first case of in the metaverse after a child was allegedly attacked in-game while wearing a VR headset. The girl is said to have been left distraught after her character was gang raped by a group of online strangers. She suffered no physical injuries, but officers say she suffered the same psychological and emotional trauma as someone who is raped in the real world.
Yo, they said she suffered real-life mental problems because of that. That is crazy, dude.
This is not Google Earth. In fact, it's going to be a fully playable metaverse set in a replica of our planet, where you can own your own land that corresponds with the same location in our physical world and can be used to mine resources, build on, play on, and more. The squares you see here are plots of land that you can buy now on Earth too.
Alright guys, virtual reality is literally proving to us the power of our thoughts. Check this out. So first, if you're unfamiliar with this channel, Citizen Scientist is all about proving just how powerful your thoughts really are and how you can't tell the difference between your outside world and what you're thinking alone in your head. You can literally think greater than how you feel. And Snow World is a shining example of this. And Snow World is a VR world built for burn victims who experience some of the worst pain imaginable. And in Snow World, patients can throw snowballs at penguins while they receive treatments, which means that patients are going from their real physical body to the world of their imagination generated through thought alone. And the results were amazing. Patients reported 35 to 50% less pain when in the VR world, which is the same if they were to take an addictive opioid. And the brain scans show that the pain receptors in the brain were way less active in the VR world, which is super important because the death cause from painkillers is just out of control. So who knows, VR could become commonplace in medicine, just like taking a Novocaine shot at your dentist.
I've had this thought for a really long time, but I feel like in the future, when a lot of people go through any sort of mental illness or traumatic incidences, for example, someone that's on their deathbed from like a certain type of cancer, I feel like as they're on their deathbed in a way, I feel like a lot of people are going to be transported into virtual reality, so their treatments could go a lot faster, if that makes sense, or they could have a less stressful death.
I've made like 3 or 4 viral videos about how big the metaverse is going to be, but I did not realize how serious Facebook was taking the metaverse. They're about to drop their name of Facebook to become more known for the metaverse. But what exactly is the metaverse? I'm going to tell you what it could be, and hopefully Facebook isn't too much involved in it. The idea first came about in Snow Crash. I've told you all to check this book out. And in the metaverse ideal state, it has no single creator. And at its core, it's a digital reality that includes aspects of gaming, social media, AR, and cryptocurrencies. And instead of just viewing the content like we do now, we're in it. And yes, there's Second Life, Decentraland, Roblox, Fortnite. These all contain aspects of the metaverse, but they're all self-contained, meaning I can't bring my avatar from Decentraland into Fortnite. This has the opportunity to create an overall economy that's bigger than our current one. If you want to learn more about this, make sure you like and follow because I can get more into it.
What actually is the metaverse? And why is it going so far? This is scary, like really, really genuinely scary. But let's get into it. So first of all, let's talk about meta. So basically, Meta is the new word that Mark Zuckerberg came up for Facebook. So it's not called Facebook anymore, it's called Meta. Now, he's developing something called the Metaverse, which is pretty much like a simulation game which everyone will be a part of. And he's estimated that eventually around 1 billion people will be active in this. 1 billion. Like, what? Now, what's so scary about it, and what actually is it? It's basically like a game where you'll load into in VR or something. But it's like an entire universe, like an entire planet. And people are already buying land there. Even large companies such as Nike and Adidas. Like, that just makes it even crazy. If you go on OpenSea, you can actually buy land in there right now, but it's obviously expensive. Now, what's so scary about this? Surely it's just some kind of VR game that everyone will be playing. Well, not exactly. This metaverse will literally feel real. People will eventually be pretty much living inside of it more than they actually live in their real life. People will be getting jobs in there, meeting friends for a cup of coffees, and even going to school there maybe. This is why NFTs are such a massive thing at the moment, because this will almost be like a flex in your metaverse life. Having like a Bored Ape NFT in the metaverse is kind of like having a Ferrari or something in the real world. Now, this is where it gets even scarier. It's estimated that eventually people will spend more time in the metaverse than they spend in their real life. So people won't care about how much money and stuff they have in the real world, only in the metaverse. You'll be able to stay alive by just doing stuff in there. Makes no sense. And this is the proper crazy part. People are saying in the distant future, like I'm talking maybe 100, even 200 years, you will be able to transfer your consciousness into the metaverse, meaning that you can't die, you will literally be living in the metaverse, not in the real world at all. How messed up is that? But some people have also theorized that this has already happened. We are in some kind of simulation right now, almost like the metaverse. Life has just developed in it, meaning we have no idea we're actually in it, it just feels like real world. Messed up. I'll send this video to someone to make them aware of the metaverse and, well, blow their mind.
You see the tomato sauce on your left? Go ahead and grab that and then place it in your cart. Great. Looks like that's everything on your list. Are you ready to check out with Walmart Pay? I'll have the TV brought out to your car. Thanks for shopping at Walmart and have a great day.
I hope to God that dude did not use his real money for that.
Mark Zuckerberg literally showed everybody their future a couple weeks ago and nobody gives a shit. Look at this. Mark Zuckerberg was talking about the metaverse and how it's going to change everybody's lives. He described it perfectly as the next succession of the mobile internet. So right now you're walking around with your phone in your pocket, you're taking the internet everywhere with you. You basically have a little box of limitless information that helps you navigate your way around the world. If you don't know where you are, you look at a map. If you need transportation, you call an Uber. If you need to remember something, you write a note. If you need to take a picture of something, you take a picture. You need to take a video of something, you take a video. If you need to be entertained, you open TikTok and you watch my content. If you don't know a math problem, you use a calculator. If you need to be in a meeting, you hop on Zoom. Everything you do is on the phone. Now, imagine you're in the world and you lose your phone. You're lost. Yeah, of course you can survive without a phone, but you're gonna be at a supreme disadvantage, especially when it comes to gathering information, receiving information, storing information, navigating around your city, talking to people. Because you lose that box in your pocket, you are losing all those tools that help you in society. In the future, it's going to be the same, except your phone is going to be this. We are going to live in a world where smart glasses are going to be as light and thin as this. In fact, you won't even be carrying that hunk of aluminum anymore. So check it out. You put on your smart glasses and immediately you know where you are in the world. You know the weather, you know the time. You look at your friend, you know their name. You're walking around town, you look at a business, you know how many stars it has. You know immediately if it's an Italian or a Mexican restaurant. You want to remember something, you take a picture. You want to hop in a meeting, you can hop in a meeting. Everybody will have digital avatars in the metaverse. So your friend would have an avatar and they could be sitting next to you and you guys could be watching a concert or something together. And in their view, they would see your avatar. And we will get to the point technologically where smart glasses will be affordable for everyone. So if you don't have them, you're like, what are you doing? They'll be used in schools, hospitals, for transportation, for entertainment, literally everything. If you could name me one industry that does not use a phone in some capacity, everything is going to be used with smart glasses. Tim Cook said that he expects AR to be as big as the App Store, and I completely agree. My favorite part about all this is when the App Store was created, it created industries that we couldn't even comprehend back in 2008, like Uber, TikTok. People are making full-time livings off of these new businesses that came with this new technology, and it's going to be very interesting to see what new industries and businesses come with this new innovation of taking all these tools from a screen to in front of your face.
It's time for everyone's favorite, work. Over the last year and a half, a lot of us who work in offices have gone remote. And while I miss seeing the people I work with, I think remote work is here to stay for a lot of people. So we're going to need better tools to work together. Let's take a look at what working in the metaverse will be like. Imagine if you could be at the office without the commute. You would still have that sense of presence, shared physical space, those chance interactions that make your day all accessible from anywhere. Now imagine that you have your perfect work setup and you can actually do more than you could in your regular work setup. And on top of all that, you can keep wearing your favorite sweatpants.
Looking good. Let's get together real quick for a debrief.
I'm free now. Let's jump in. Hi.
Hey. I think it's ready.
Great.
I'll prep it for the presentation.
All right. Good luck.
Imagine a space where you can tune out distractions and focus on the task at hand. And when you're ready to share what you've been working on, you can present it as if you're right there with the team.
Wait, where's Mark?
I think he's in the middle of something.
You can already see some of these elements in Horizon Workrooms, which we launched a couple of months ago. Later this year, we plan to introduce room customization, so you can put your own logos and posters in your workrooms. We're also introducing a new office space in Horizon Home, for when you want your perfect workspace to do some focused work or just cross a few things off your to-do list.
I wonder if the metaverse could take us to like a next dimension, if that makes sense. For example, like I feel like in the metaverse, I don't know how like the controls work or whatever, but like what if you could just teleport to the other side of the world? Like you see how that dude was talking to his girlfriend like, oh yeah, everything's all good here, and then he teleported to a beach. If you really switch consciousness over to the metaverse, that could probably put us in a different dimension. If that's possible, couldn't the creators of the metaverse like abuse their powers? Like, you know what I'm saying, control everything, have like certain privileges to people, stuff like, you know what I'm saying? Like what are the laws in the metaverse? That's what it's gonna have to get down to.
Now this is something you're going to want to watch. Now Mark Zuckerberg said that they chose to rename Facebook because what the company has in store for the future is so much bigger than simply social media that's limited to apps and screens. Now they've named it Meta because they've been developing a new metaverse where everyone in the world can hang out, play games, communicate, all in a virtual environment. Sounds like the world of Ready Player One is closer than we thought. Now the best way to think of Facebook's metaverse is basically a virtual reality Sims. And instead of random characters that you interact with, it will be real people. They'll be your friends on Facebook, or perhaps people that you've never even met before. And instead of pressing buttons to touch things, you'll be able to physically interact with this new metaverse with the technology that they're developing. Now to enter this metaverse, you simply chuck on your virtual reality headset and then enter the home that you've designed and enter the body that you've designed too. You and your friends will be able to enter crazy spaces and entire worlds that are designed by top creators from all around the globe. And NFTs might become a whole lot bigger than they already are because you'll be able to bring over anything that can be represented digitally into the metaverse, like photos, videos, art, music, movies, books, games, you name it. And you will be able to go to work and get paid in the metaverse. And since working remotely over the last couple of years is now commonplace, I imagine that this will probably be at the forefront. And to show Mark Zuckerberg is serious, he said that they intend to subsidize or sell their metaverse tech at cost in order for everyone to be able to access this world. And this world is a lot closer than you already think because they've got a whole bunch of tech that they've announced that they are already working on, like the Nazare glasses, Horizon Home, AI facial recognition that can track your facial expressions and movements to a high level of sophistication. But the question is, does all of this leave you feeling excited or terrified?
Can you explain quickly what Metaverse means? It's a digital world. Facebook, again, just changed their name to Meta. Like, that is insane. This generation will be defined by the war on digital sovereignty. I just don't believe there is any other future besides one where your digital life becomes extremely, extremely meaningful to you, so much so that it's painful to take off the glasses.
Here's how to make money in the metaverse. Become a virtual architect, or create vehicles. Or what about designing trees and gardens? I mean, this list can go forever, but I think you get the point. Becoming a 3D artist can give you an endless range of companies that you can build in the metaverse. And the best part is the rules of gravity don't apply, so nothing has to make sense.
There's a hot topic spreading online about sexual assault in the metaverse, which, as many of you know, is a virtual reality you can access with a VR headset and meet people. There's a bunch of 12-year-old boys sexually assaulting girls virtually in a game. Now this is a serious matter. I'm not saying it's a joke, they're just kids, but it concerns me that people are comparing this to actual. This to me is not fair to actual victims of real life sexual assault. Bear in mind, when you're in a video game in VR, you are within a safe zone in your own home. No one knows how you look like or any of your personal information. The only information they can access is your username, your voice, and maybe your profile picture. Now the users that commit such assault must be reported to the platform and the authorities, and their actions constitute a criminal offense. But please do not call this.
Yeah, I kind of agree because, like, at the end of the day, you're not physically getting hurt. Like, mentally, maybe, but, like, isn't it a device? Couldn't you just turn it off or block the user?
Have a favorite feature to use in here?
Yeah.
Something that you think is very cool?
Check this out.
Wow.
So that's pretty neat.
Do you own any digital real estate?
What?
Do you own any digital real estate?
I'm gonna ask you again. What?
I mean, I know
What do
you
you mean
have
by
like a house and
digital
everything.
real estate? What does
Meaning
that mean?
you don't. It's real estate in the metaverse. Like you own it. It's real estate. I don't understand. You're such a boomer. You got to get involved in this, man. I'm telling you. This is the future.
Like, yeah, Atari is invested in here. This is Snoop's little plot down here, but all these green areas are owned by other people.
Plot. Do you have a plot?
This is where? What is this?
This would be the Sandbox Metaverse.
So there's metaverses? There'll be the Facebook
Oh,
metaverse?
dude, for sure there's a ton of metaverses. You can't afford to be in certain metaverses. Certain metaverses you can.
Which one could I not afford to be in?
Not you specifically, but I'm talking about regular people like myself. I don't know that I can afford this metaverse. But I'm
So-
going to start in another metaverse and work hard.
If you got...
Listen, the country's over. Have a little fun.
This is what the metaverse will look like in 5 years. People will start strapping themselves to machines like this to simulate zero gravity with omnidirectional treadmills to fully immerse themselves in a virtual reality environment. Finally, people can start experiencing what it's like being outside. What do you think? Follow for more metaverse news.
Inside the Facebook Metaverse, Part 2. Alright, y'all, we in a big, scary Facebook Metaverse. Facebook Metaverse platform, Metaverse platform, whatever you want to call it. That was it.
What's up, dude? Yeah, this is actually pretty badass.
Cool.
I just downloaded this too. I did it by accident. This is pretty badass. I'm just hoping it's a lot of positive community, though. You know what I mean? Because you could get an Xbox and it's just a lot of really negative stuff, right?
Yeah.
Being
Well,
like
actually, I
this,
just
actually have an avatar.
I think it
You know what
feels
I'm saying?
different.
I
Like,
saw
it
there's
makes
already
it
been a
feel
case of-
better.
Yeah, that's I what I'm saw saying. there's 'cause, been a like, case you of actually sexual see- harassment already.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I can see that. Well,
Yeah.
there's a couple games on VR where people are freaking going, you know, like.
Have you ever heard of VR chat? Y'all
Yeah,
ever
I was
heard
about
of-
to say
yeah,
the VR chat,
VR
the
chat gets
chat
really
room
dark.
and
Yeah, that shit gets dark. Like,
Oh
they-
hell yeah!
yeah,
Yeah, because you could turn into all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, and they even do things.
We need to talk about assault in the metaverse. A woman was recently groped in Horizon Worlds.
Please get the hell away from me now. Dude, back off.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I cannot take VR, like, assault seriously. Isn't assault like a physical injury? Like, I just can't take it seriously. In my head, it's just literally just log off or literally just go to a different server or something. Like,
Facebook has stated that they don't want to be known as a social media company in the future, but a metaverse company. And the metaverse is a space that hundreds of companies are betting on. So the logical next question, what the heck is the metaverse? In general terms, think of the metaverse like a virtual or digital world that we can access via the internet. And in this digital world, we can play and socialize, like go to an art class. We can go to work in the form of avatars. We can put on our virtual reality headset and enter into a different digital space. Kind of like being in a video game or like The Sims, but so much bigger than that. Ariana Grande had a whole concert in the metaverse by creating an avatar, and then you could put on your headset and tune into the concert. You and your friends in the form of avatars could go to a painting class. But the metaverse isn't about just being locked in this video game sim style of environment. It's so much more than that. It's the blending of the virtual world and the real world. When you're walking down the street, you have augmented reality goggles on and it shows you directions like this. When you go and buy your coffee, it could look more like this. Facebook's version of the metaverse looks like this. We put on our headsets and go to work like this. And you would buy things in the metaverse just like you buy things in the real world. Like you would buy digital clothes for your avatar instead of real world clothes for your real world self. You would buy concert tickets to concerts happening in the metaverse. You just access them digitally. But there's a catch. The space doesn't actually really exist yet. Kind of does. Video games like Roblox or Fortnite could be considered metaverse. But the metaverse that Facebook is betting on and a lot of other companies are betting on doesn't actually exist yet. It would require all of us to be there and be going about our daily lives there. And if you're weirded out, well, you're not alone. The future is going to be a crazy place.
So this country is moving full-time into the metaverse.
As our land disappears, we have no choice but to become the world's first digital nation.
This is Tuvalu. It's a small country in the Pacific Ocean and around 12,000 people live there. And due to rising sea levels, the country may not be around much longer.
Our land, our ocean, our culture are the most precious assets of our people. And to keep them safe from harm, no matter what happens in the physical world, we'll move them to the cloud.
Personally, I think this is a really cool way to preserve history and culture in an immersive way. Let me know what you think in the comments.
My thoughts is if you move everyone to the metaverse, what would happen to their physical body? And how would that impact them in the metaverse?
Yo, I seen a commercial about the metaverse.
Really?
It scared the fuck out of me. Like, it was on ESPN. I was watching it, and it was talking about how the metaverse is gonna like change like society. They say they might bring the metaverse for children, for schools. So like you put the glasses on when you're in school, and then you could just live out whatever you're learning. So say you want to go back in time and learn about the dinosaurs, you can go back.
That's cool.
I know, but like that's creepy.
That is.
Simulation, people. Like I be thinking in my head, like I'm a sick bro. Like I be thinking in my head, like what if I'm the only real person and everybody else is fake?
Sometimes I be thinking like that too. I be like, is he a bot? Like
me too. Like I'm like I swear there be people in my life that be like bots.
Like if I'm in my house and like my parents are just sitting there and I'm just looking at everybody in my house, I'd be like, what if they're just not real and I'm the only real person right now?
That's what I'm saying. Like there's no proof saying that I'm real to you.
Are
You're real
you
to
real?
me. I think I'm real.
But what if you're a robot saying that right now?
Police are investigating the first ever case of virtual rape in the metaverse. Here's what happened. A girl under the age of 16 was reportedly left distraught when her avatar or digital character was gang raped by online strangers, who were adult men in virtual reality. She was using a VR headset, which looks like one of these, and her avatar was in a large online room with other users. The victim, whose identity has been protected, did not suffer any physical injuries as there was no physical attack. Police say she still suffered the same psychological and emotional trauma as a real-world attack. This is because a VR headset is designed to create an immersive experience. Similar incidents have happened in the world of VR. For example, there have been a number of reported sex attacks on this free VR online game, Horizon Worlds, run by the owner of Facebook, Meta, but this is thought to be the first case to be investigated by police in the UK. The incident has led police to call for more laws to tackle sexual offences happening in the virtual world. There have also been concerns that the rise of VR will create more opportunities for cybercrime like virtual robbery, identity theft and fraud. A spokesperson for Meta told the Daily Mail, "This kind of behaviour described has no place on our platform. If you would like some more information on how to keep safe when using VR, check out the link in our bio."
This is the Sphere in Las Vegas. U2 played there over the weekend. They are prepping you for the metaverse. If you don't know what the metaverse is or why they would want you in the metaverse, do some research and eyes and ears open for.
I'm convinced that I can live in the metaverse for my entire life. Literally no problems with me living in the metaverse. Is that exit? One is like, you can't live in the metaverse. You can live in the metaverse. I'm like, of course I can live in the metaverse. Oh, shit. Founders. Hold on. Is this part of it? Yep. Looks like he's making a cake. Oh, are we pitching now? He's our CTO. He's good. He's good. He looks lost. Nice to meet you.
Not a real girl.
We are already living in the metaverse. Whether you want to admit it or not, this is insane. Over there in Paris, look how many phones there are for this countdown. And not one person take their phone down after either. Like, I'm just looking for one person to just actually take it in with their eyes and just like, oh, take in the view and the experience and feel it. But this phone that I'm talking into right now, it got us trapped, people. We living in a different reality that we think is our own reality. But it's really just to show other people what we were at or experienced, where it's like, hey, just live in the moment. You're not going to remember the actual fireworks. You only going to remember yourself recording, trying to get a good shot. That's the thing I feel like that needs to be talked about, because I want you to take a minute and think about your memories and what you can visualize, and I promise you, it will never be of something that you recorded on your phone. It will be a sunset, a concert, a moment of travel, a time out, but it will be seen with your own eyes. It's not from what you recorded. Of course, you can always look back on videos, but it's not the same as remembering that experience and feeling that feeling. I'm telling you, y'all, put the phone down.
Damn, bro, you ain't have to get stern with me. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, we're moving towards the future. I think the phones are the least of our problems now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they've been integrated so much that not a lot of people care anymore. And I feel like with the phones, you could always, like as he said, look back. And I feel like a lot of people record things to look back on it, not necessarily to like remember it in their head. Like, I can't show you my memory.
Hey, buddy, what happened that one time in December?
Oh, let me show you my memory. You could just show them a video. I guess you could say there's a lot more with videos, I guess you could say.
In virtual reality, you can do anything while simultaneously doing nothing. Isn't the Metaverse just a boring pixelated role-playing game? It's not just a game. VR is like a streaming service for human experiences you can't afford. Sounds like a lot of drugs, sex, and violence. I was thinking more traveling to space or raising a pet whale, but sure. It just doesn't seem healthy to be staring at a screen all day. We spend most of our day on the phone anyway. Why not make it more immersive so you're less distractible? I thought the phone was the distraction, not real life. Once VR can immerse all of our senses in a digital world, it'll be indistinguishable from real life. But we'll still have bodies to take care of. Can't injure yourself in VR. No car crashes, bar fights, or muggings. And if you're sick, doctors will be able to diagnose you from your living room. Sitting on a couch all day will atrophy your muscles. Just exercise in the metaverse. No one's actually going to do that. Why would anyone work out if they don't need their body for anything? And no one's ever going to see it. And doesn't the lack of sunlight screw up your circadian rhythm? Artificial sunlight exposure. But we need direct contact with nature. Fill your house with plants. Somebody's got to water them. Augmented reality. What about showers? Waterproof headsets. Or you could just take it off. Ooh, scandalous. Someone is going to have to live in the real world to supply electricity and resources to these devices. Those will be the unlucky Let's hope those unlucky few don't notice how easy it is to steal from a world full of people playing Beat Saber. There won't be anything to steal. All of our money and assets will be digital and protected by the Physical spaces will be a useless luxury once we start living on digital plots of land. But then everything you find valuable will rely on the financial success of tech companies. Do you understand the kind of leverage you're giving them? That seems like a fair trade for equality and abundance. Where's the equality for people in third world countries who can't afford a headset or high-speed internet? Headsets are getting cheaper. Yay, soon they'll be starving, homeless, and entertained. No matter how realistic it looks, VR doesn't possess the complexity of real life. People don't want complexity. They want freedom covered in safety. Safety? Imagine a child jumping off buildings and flying around the metaverse and then thinking he can do it after he takes off his headset. More reason to stay inside the metaverse where it's safe. So we're just giving up on saving the world. We know that less human activity is better for the environment. You don't think there's an environmental toll for powering the metaverse? But it would be the end of war. Instead of bombing each other, world leaders can simulate the fighting based on each other's resources to predict outcomes and negotiate treaties. You think Putin is going to accept defeat based on a game of Call of Duty? Why fight in real life if you've already seen the outcome in VR? No one has to die. But they'll still be manipulated. You know when you see an advertisement that matches a conversation you thought you were having in private? Yeah? Imagine a world where these companies no longer have to figure out what you're interested in. They can simply immerse you in a world, a community of bots that prime and peer pressure you to buy their products. But peer pressure won't have the same power there because your identity isn't static. You can be anything or anyone that you want. But the more we pretend to be something we're not, the less time we spend getting to know who we are whoever we think we are. No, we are a specific relationship between our genes and ignoring our genetic components will lead us to a life that's not right for us. But at least we won't be bullied for attributes we can't control. You'll just get bullied for something else. Except it'll be worse. A random mean tweet or comment is now going to feel like a real person verbally abusing you. But blocking them will be easy. No need to see them at work or school. One button and they're out of your life. But that doesn't teach you how to communicate and resolve conflict. But some people have social anxiety. The metaverse is a place they can find acceptance, purpose, and even love. If we start dating bots that can love us the way we want to be loved, that will be the end of loneliness and the end of human interaction. Imagine ex-convicts or even people in prison doing jobs or being rehabilitated in VR without posing a threat to society. Sounds like trading one prison for another. It's not prison, it's possibility. Imagine what artists will be able to create. How will artists have anything to say about being human when they live as digital cartoons? Life in there will have its own culture, its own problems, its own pleasures that will produce art that's relevant to people who live in the metaverse. This is going to split humanity in two. Those who are rich and healthy living in the real world and people whose physical life sucks living in the metaverse. Until the rich realize they can digitize their consciousness into the metaverse and free themselves from their body and from death until someone hits the off switch. What Why can't I feel my legs? Are we dead? Okay, all better now. You can't escape yourself. Whether you choose to live in your brain simulation of the world or your brain simulation of the metaverse, your mind will follow you wherever you go, altering your perception of each reality to reflect your own mental state. So even if the world we choose to live in changes the way we do things, our experience of it will only be as inspiring, scary, cruel, or kind as the voices in our heads.
Yeah, man, all I'm gonna say is the first country to have 90% of its citizens in the metaverse is the first country that will fall. That's all I'm saying. I'm out of here.
Thank you all for watching.